Diary of a Sniper Woman. The journals they never found. Detective Sarah Martinez found the leather-bound journal hidden behind a false wall in the abandoned apartment, expecting routine missing person evidence. Instead, she discovered detailed entries from Elena Vasquez, a beautiful 32-year-old yoga instructor who had eliminated 47 high-value political targets across 3 continents while teaching morning meditation classes. What Detective Martinez read in those pages would expose the most classified assassination program in U.S. military history. Welcome to Hidden Valor Stories. Before we dive into the secret diary that revealed America's most lethal female operative, tell me in the comments, what city are you watching from today? And if you believe that the most peaceful people sometimes carry the deadliest secrets, hit that subscribe button. These hidden stories need to be told. The missing person case seemed routine when Detective Sarah Martinez first reviewed Elena Vasquez's file. A 32-year-old yoga instructor had vanished from her upscale suburban apartment 3 weeks earlier, leaving behind a successful wellness studio and dozens of worried students who described her as the most centered, peaceful person they'd ever encountered. Martinez approached the investigation with her usual methodical precision, photographing Elena's apartment and interviewing neighbors who consistently described the missing woman as friendly but mysteriously private. The apartment itself supported the serene lifestyle everyone expected: meditation cushions arranged in perfect circles, essential oil diffusers creating a calming atmosphere, shelves lined with books on mindfulness and spiritual healing. But Martinez's 8 years investigating missing persons had taught her to notice details that others missed. Elena's security system was more sophisticated than typical for someone teaching downward dog poses. The windows featured reinforced glass that seemed excessive for ground floor living. Most intriguingly, Elena's neighbors mentioned that she never discussed family or relationships predating her arrival in the community 4 years earlier. The breakthrough came when Martinez noticed inconsistent paint coloring on Elena's bedroom wall, suggesting recent construction work. Her investigation revealed a hidden compartment behind what appeared to be a decorative meditation alcove. Inside, Martinez discovered items that transformed her understanding of the missing yoga instructor entirely. The concealed space contained 3 leather-bound journals filled with meticulous handwriting in black ink. Accompanying the journals were photographs showing Elena in military fatigues, technical manuals for advanced rifle systems, and military decorations including a Bronze Star and Purple Heart issued to Staff Sergeant Elena Vasquez, U.S. Marine Corps. Martinez opened the first journal with professional curiosity that quickly evolved into shocked disbelief. The entries spanning 4 years documented systematic elimination of political targets while Elena maintained perfect cover as a suburban yoga instructor. Each page revealed deeper layers of deception that challenged everything Martinez thought she understood about the peaceful woman her students had described with such affection. The journal's opening entry, dated 4 years earlier, described Elena's arrival in the suburban community with clinical precision that immediately caught Martinez's attention. The handwriting was steady and controlled, reflecting someone accustomed to detailed documentation under pressure. Elena had established her cover identity as a certified yoga instructor specializing in mindfulness and stress reduction techniques. Her student roster included local politicians, business executives, and military families from the nearby base, exactly the demographic that would provide valuable intelligence while assuming their instructor posed no security threat. Martinez read Elena's description of her daily routine with growing amazement. The yoga instructor's 5:30 a.m. meditation sessions were actually range estimation practice. Her 6 a.m. flexibility classes maintained physical conditioning required for field operations. Her peaceful breakfast routine included reviewing target files disguised as wellness journals. The entries revealed that Elena's meditation corner, which students assumed contained spiritual supplies, actually concealed a Macmillan TAC-50 rifle system. Her apartment's strategic location provided overwatch of the federal courthouse parking lot, with Mrs. Henderson's living room window offering perfect sightlines for potential operations. Elena wrote about her students with genuine affection, describing their personal struggles and her efforts to help them find inner peace through meditation techniques. Martinez realized with disturbing clarity that these breathing exercises were actually military psychological preparation methods adapted for civilian instruction. Elena had been teaching stressed executives and suburban mothers the same mental conditioning she used for precision shooting. The journal's technical details demonstrated Elena's exceptional professional competence. She maintained a resting heart rate of 60 beats per minute during simulated stress scenarios. Her breathing techniques served dual purposes, helping students manage anxiety while maintaining her own psychological readiness for combat operations. The rifle case hidden among meditation supplies was explained to curious students as containing advanced props for retreats. Martinez paused in her reading, struggling to reconcile the image of a caring yoga instructor with someone who kept military-grade sniper equipment concealed among meditation cushions. Elena's clinical documentation style suggested someone for whom deception had become as natural as breathing, yet her genuine concern for her students' well-being appeared authentic throughout the entries. Elena's 8th journal entry described her first assassination mission while maintaining civilian cover. The target was Viktor Kozlov, an arms dealer providing weapons to terrorist organizations who had made the fatal mistake of attending a wellness retreat at a local spa facility. Martinez read Elena's operational planning with professional fascination and growing horror. Kozlov's security team expected conventional threats, vehicle bombs, poison attacks, close-quarters assault attempts. They failed to anticipate precision rifle engagement from a yoga retreat location positioned 800 meters from their defensive perimeter. Elena's role as retreat coordinator provided legitimate access to elevated positions that offered perfect sightlines to the spa facility. During meditation sessions with Kozlov, she had gathered intelligence about weapons shipment schedules and buyer contact information. The arms dealer had discussed his criminal activities openly, assuming a yoga instructor posed no intelligence threat. The journal entry described Elena's shot placement with technical precision that chilled Martinez to read. A single .50 caliber round fired through the spa window during Kozlov's massage appointment. Range 847 meters. Wind conditions calculated to 3 milliparas northwest. The entry wound would suggest professional elimination, but trajectory analysis would point toward a construction site across the valley rather than Elena's actual shooting position. Elena's post-operation behavior demonstrated the psychological compartmentalization that made her cover identity sustainable. She continued the retreat schedule normally, leading an evening meditation session focused on letting go of negative energy. She accepted comfort from concerned students who assumed she was traumatized by witnessing such violence during what should have been a peaceful spiritual gathering. The local police investigation concluded that an unknown professional sniper had eliminated Kozlov, but they found no suspects and no evidence connecting the assassination to the wellness retreat. Elena's cover remained intact while she planned her next operation, teaching stress reduction techniques to people who had no idea their instructor had just eliminated a major arms dealer with surgical precision. Martinez realized she was reading documentation of perfect operational security combined with genuine human compassion. Elena had eliminated a legitimate threat to public safety while providing authentic spiritual guidance to innocent students who trusted her completely. Elena's 15th journal entry revealed her increasing comfort with maintaining dual identities while conducting increasingly complex operations. Her students had begun viewing her as a trusted confidante, sharing personal problems and family concerns that proved valuable for operational planning and psychological profiling. Martinez read about Senator Williams' wife, who attended Elena's Thursday evening classes, seeking stress relief from political family pressures. The woman had mentioned her husband's upcoming trip to Geneva for arms control negotiations, inadvertently providing intelligence about a high-value target's travel schedule. Elena taught breathing methods that were identical to pulse control techniques used for long-range shooting, though her students assumed they were learning anxiety management rather than military conditioning. The senator's wife practiced these exercises faithfully, never realizing her yoga instructor was preparing to eliminate her husband. The journal revealed that Senator Williams was targeted under Operation Downward Dog because his anti-terrorism legislation threatened funding for covert operations. His elimination would destabilize the bill and protect classified programs that operated beyond congressional oversight. Elena had identified Williams' jogging route, which passed her yoga studio every Tuesday at precisely 7:15 a.m. The range through her studio window was 340 meters, with the shot angle designed to suggest origin from construction site renovation across the street. Police investigation would focus on union disputes rather than political assassination. Martinez read Elena's internal conflict with growing understanding of the psychological toll exacted by deep cover operations. Elena recognized that Williams was fundamentally a good man fighting genuine threats, but his death served strategic purposes that outweighed individual moral concerns. She rationalized the assassination through yoga philosophy about accepting universal balance. Sometimes balance required removing obstacles to the greater good. The entry concluded with Elena noting her students' observation about her increased focus during meditation sessions. She had explained her intensity as preparation for advanced certification, while actually preparing for the most challenging shot of her career through moving target engagement during morning traffic patterns. Elena's 23rd journal entry mentioned Detective Martinez for the first time, describing her investigation into businessman Davidson's apparent suicide the previous month. Elena had recognized immediately that Martinez suspected foul play despite lacking evidence to prove assassination. Martinez read Elena's professional assessment of her own investigative capabilities with uncomfortable fascination. Elena had identified Martinez's military police background and noted her thorough methodology that exceeded typical detective work. The journal revealed that Elena considered Martinez a potential threat to operational security due to her expertise in analyzing evidence patterns. The Davidson elimination had been executed flawlessly, a single shot through his home office window during a late-night work session, staged as self-inflicted wound using the victim's personal firearm. All ballistics evidence had been destroyed, and police had concluded that work stress motivated the suicide. But Martinez hadn't accepted the official conclusion. Elena's journal documented the detective's persistent investigation, interviewing neighbors, reviewing Davidson's business associates, analyzing forensic evidence with expertise that suggested understanding of precision shooting techniques. Martinez was investigating 3 suicides that were actually Elena's assassination assignments. Elena had implemented countermeasures by increasing surveillance of Martinez's activities through yoga students married to police officers. These women discussed active cases during relaxation sessions, assuming their instructor posed no intelligence risk. Elena gathered information about police procedures, detective capabilities, and investigative progress while teaching stress management to law enforcement families. The journal entry revealed Elena's growing psychological tension between her professional obligations and human connections. She described the cognitive dissonance of teaching letting go of anxiety workshops while planning the potential elimination of a detective investigating her work. Students sought peace while their instructor planned violence. Elena's final assessment was chillingly clinical. Martinez represented an existential threat to the operation. If her investigation continued, Elena's cover would be compromised, and 4 years of deep infiltration would be lost. Elena might be forced to add the detective to her target list, despite personal reluctance to eliminate law enforcement personnel. Elena's 31st journal entry described Operation Warrior Pose, her most complex international assignment involving the elimination of General Petrov during a diplomatic reception at an embassy facility. Martinez read the technical details with professional appreciation for Elena's operational competence and growing horror at the scope of her activities. Petrov had been orchestrating arms sales to rebel groups threatening regional stability in Eastern Europe. His removal preserved strategic balance and protected American interests by preventing civil war that could destabilize an entire geographic region. The elimination required precision that exceeded typical military capabilities. The shot placement required exceptional skill, 1,100 meters through reinforced embassy glass during a crowded diplomatic event. Elena had used armor-piercing ammunition while calculating ballistic factors including glass deflection and urban wind patterns between buildings. The high-velocity round created entry wounds consistent with suicide bombing fragmentation rather than sniper attack. Elena's cover story had been maintaining a meditation retreat at a mountain facility 200 miles from the assassination location. 12 students provided alibi confirmation while Elena conducted the most challenging shot of her career. The students had been grateful for spiritual guidance during an intensive weekend workshop, never realizing their instructor had eliminated a foreign military leader while teaching them mindfulness techniques. The journal entry included Elena's personal reflection on 5 years of military service, resulting in 47 confirmed eliminations with 0 compromised operations. Her skills remained sharp despite civilian cover, but she questioned whether she was a yoga instructor pretending to be a sniper or a sniper pretending to teach yoga. Identity boundaries were becoming psychologically unclear. Elena noted that Martinez's investigation was intensifying, with the detective identifying patterns in accidents and suicides that corresponded to Elena's operational calendar. The timeline for completing final phase operations had accelerated before detection became unavoidable. Martinez realized that Elena had been conducting international assassination missions while teaching meditation to innocent students who provided perfect alibi confirmation. The scope of her operations suggested support from intelligence agencies with unlimited resources and congressional authority for covert actions. Elena's 38th journal entry described a direct encounter with Martinez that had escalated the psychological tension between hunter and prey. The detective had attended Elena's beginner yoga class, claiming interest in stress management techniques while actually conducting surveillance to assess threat levels. Martinez read Elena's professional assessment of her own investigative methods with uncomfortable recognition. Elena had identified that Martinez suspected her true identity but lacked proof to support criminal charges. The detective's questions about Elena's background seemed casual but targeted information gaps in her cover story. Elena had made the tactical decision to allow Martinez normal participation in the class, teaching her actual military breathing techniques disguised as anxiety management exercises. The irony wasn't lost on Elena that she was training the detective investigating her in the same psychological methods she used for target elimination. The journal revealed intelligence Elena had gathered about Martinez during the class. The detective carried a concealed weapon despite being off-duty, suggesting she considered Elena potentially dangerous. Martinez was conducting an unofficial investigation without departmental support, creating isolation that could be exploited if elimination became necessary. Elena had discovered Martinez photographing the studio layout during a class break, providing evidence of active surveillance. When confronted, Martinez claimed interest in home meditation space design, an obvious lie that Elena accepted to maintain cover while gathering counterintelligence. The strategic implications troubled Elena significantly. Martinez's investigation could expose not just her individual operations, but the entire classified program. 4 years of deep cover, international eliminations, and political assassinations could create massive scandal if revealed through detective work. Elena might receive authorization to eliminate Martinez to protect national security interests. Elena's personal conflict emerged clearly in this entry. She respected Martinez as a dedicated law enforcement officer trying to protect innocent people. Killing her would violate Elena's personal code about eliminating law enforcement personnel. But operational security considerations outweighed individual preferences when national security was threatened. Martinez realized that while she had been investigating Elena, the yoga instructor had been conducting equally thorough surveillance of her investigation methods, personal habits, and professional vulnerabilities. Elena's 44th journal entry outlined her final authorized operation, eliminating President Kozlov of Belarus during New Year diplomatic events. His government's cooperation with international terrorism required permanent solution through methods that would provide plausible deniability for American involvement. Martinez read the tactical planning with growing understanding of Elena's exceptional professional competence. Kozlov traveled with presidential-level security that made conventional assault impossible. Elena's solution involved precision shooting during a balcony appearance at the embassy reception, requiring a 950-meter shot through complex urban environment with multiple obstacles. Elena's cover story for the operation involved leading a New Year meditation retreat for students seeking spiritual renewal. The retreat location provided perfect overwatch of the embassy district while 12 witnesses would confirm Elena's presence during the elimination timeframe. Her students would participate unknowingly in providing alibi for political assassination. The journal revealed the personal stakes Elena faced. Mission success would guarantee extraction and new identity, allowing her to disappear into the classified operations community. Failure would compromise the entire program and expose 4 years of deep infiltration to congressional investigation and media scrutiny. Elena's assessment of the Martinez factor had reached critical threshold. The detective's investigation had identified Elena as something other than a typical yoga instructor, but hadn't determined specific criminal activity. Post-Kozlov elimination, Elena would need to decide whether Martinez represented acceptable risk or required permanent elimination. Elena described her psychological preparation for permanently abandoning her suburban identity. She taught acceptance of change workshops while preparing to disappear forever from the life she had built among trusting students. Her guilt about abandoning people who had trusted her with personal problems was manageable but present. The technical preparation revealed Elena's continued operational excellence. Her Macmillan TAC 50 was zeroed for urban engagement with armor-piercing, match-grade ammunition. Weather conditions were optimal with clear skies and minimal wind. All variables had been optimized for mission success. Elena's final reflection before the operation acknowledged that if discovered, Her journal would provide evidence of a political assassination program operating beyond congressional oversight. If successful, the pages would document deep cover operations that had protected American interests through targeted elimination of terrorist supporters. Martinez discovered Elena's final journal entry dated 3 weeks earlier, the day the yoga instructor had vanished. The entry revealed that Operation Kozlov had been successful, with the target eliminated during the diplomatic reception, while Elena's cover story was maintained through completion. The extraction had been catastrophically compromised. Elena's support team had been eliminated during exfiltration, with enemy forces having identified the operation and tracked the entire support network. Elena was the only survivor operating without backup in hostile territory, while foreign intelligence services actively hunted her. The journal revealed that Martinez's investigation had inadvertently created the security breach that compromised Elena's operation. The detective's questioning had alerted subjects who reported suspicious activity to foreign intelligence services, allowing hostile forces to identify and eliminate Elena's support network. Elena faced operational reality that prevented returning to her yoga instructor identity. Her cover had been permanently compromised through the investigation she hadn't anticipated. Students were at risk if she maintained any contact, requiring complete disappearance to protect both operational security and civilian assets. Elena's personal reflection revealed the psychological cost of 4 years maintaining dual identity. Teaching meditation while conducting assassinations had created compartmentalization that might be irreversible. She questioned whether Elena the yoga instructor had ever been real or always a performance supporting Elena the sniper. The final decision involved abandoning her apartment and identity permanently. Elena left the journal and equipment as a message for whoever discovered the truth, understanding that Martinez would likely be the investigator who uncovered her real identity. Elena's message to Martinez acknowledged that the detective's investigation, while professionally competent, had endangered both national security operations and innocent civilians. The unintended consequences of law enforcement intersecting with classified programs had forced Elena's permanent disappearance. Elena assessed her legacy objectively. 47 eliminations had prevented larger conflicts, protected American interests, and removed threats to regional stability. Her civilian cover had enabled operations that conventional military forces couldn't accomplish. Success should be measured in wars prevented rather than targets eliminated. The personal cost had been losing the ability to form genuine relationships, maintain normal life, or separate professional identity from personal self. Yoga instruction had become a method of psychological survival rather than merely cover story. Teaching peace was the only way Elena could balance the violence required by her profession. Elena's final words acknowledged that both versions of her identity had been authentic. Elena Vasquez, the yoga instructor, was a good person helping students find inner peace, while Elena Vasquez, the sniper, was a soldier following orders to protect American lives. Both identities were real, both were necessary, and both were now permanently gone. Detective Martinez closed Elena's journal with trembling hands, her mind reeling from revelations that challenged everything she understood about law enforcement, national security, and the price of protecting American interests in an increasingly dangerous world. Elena hadn't been a criminal operating outside legal authority. She had been a soldier conducting missions under classified authorization that placed her beyond normal judicial oversight. Her assassination operations had been sanctioned at governmental levels that provided legal justification for actions that would otherwise constitute murder. The sophistication of Elena's psychological manipulation suggested specialized training in influence operations that exceeded standard military education. She had used genuine concern for student well-being as cover for intelligence gathering, creating authentic relationships that served operational purposes while providing emotional connections that made her double life psychologically sustainable. Martinez realized her investigation had inadvertently compromised a classified program designed to protect American interests through targeted elimination of high-value threats. Her professional competence as a detective had created security breaches that exposed Elena's operations to foreign intelligence services, resulting in her support network's elimination and permanent disappearance. The moral complexity of Elena's work defied simple judgment. Her targets had posed genuine threats to American security and regional stability. Her methods had prevented larger conflicts that could have cost thousands of innocent lives. But her operations involved systematic deception of civilians in violation of international laws governing assassination and covert activities. Elena's psychological struggle between peaceful cover identity and lethal professional reality reflected broader questions about the cost of covert operations on personnel who conducted them. Her use of yoga instruction as both cover story and coping mechanism suggested that maintaining civilian identity while conducting assassination missions required compartmentalization that fundamentally altered personality and moral frameworks. Martinez understood that Elena's disappearance represented more than a missing person case. It reflected the reality that protecting American interests sometimes required operations beyond public awareness or democratic oversight. Elena had been one component of a larger system designed to eliminate threats through methods providing plausible deniability for government involvement. 3 months after discovering Elena's journal, Detective Martinez submitted her final report on the missing person investigation. The official conclusion stated that Elena Vasquez had departed voluntarily to pursue advanced yoga certification overseas, and no evidence of criminal activity had been discovered during the investigation. Martinez also filed a classified addendum through channels requiring security clearance she didn't possess. This document detailed the discovery of evidence suggesting covert assassination operations conducted under governmental authority, recommending investigation by agencies with appropriate jurisdiction and security protocols for handling classified materials. Martinez never received confirmation that her classified report had been reviewed or acted upon. Elena's apartment was rented to new tenants within weeks of Martinez completing her investigation. The yoga studio was purchased by another instructor who continued teaching meditation and wellness practices to the same students Elena had served. The transition was seamless enough that most students assumed Elena had simply relocated to pursue other professional opportunities. Her replacement instructor found the studio fully equipped with meditation supplies, sound systems, and storage areas that had been thoroughly cleaned of any evidence suggesting previous use for non-civilian purposes. Martinez understood that Elena's disappearance represented operational security protocols designed to protect classified programs from exposure through law enforcement investigations. The speed and efficiency of the transition suggested resources and authority that exceeded normal civilian capabilities. Elena's journal remained in Martinez's possession, filed as evidence in a case that would never reach prosecution but served as documentation of covert operations that had shaped international events in ways the public would never understand. The entries provided insight into psychological costs of conducting assassination missions while maintaining civilian cover identity. The students who had learned meditation from Elena continued practicing breathing techniques and mindfulness exercises she had taught them, unaware that their stress management methods were based on military training designed for precision shooting and psychological preparation for combat operations. Her instruction had provided genuine benefits for people seeking inner peace, regardless of its original purpose as cover for lethal activities. Martinez occasionally visited Elena's former yoga studio, observing classes taught by the replacement instructor to students who spoke fondly of Elena's teaching methods and personal warmth. Their memories preserved Elena's peaceful identity while remaining ignorant of her lethal capabilities and the circumstances that had forced her permanent disappearance. This is what Hidden Valor Stories reveals, that the most peaceful person in your community might carry secrets that would fundamentally change everything you understand about protection, sacrifice, and the price of safety in an uncertain world. Elena Vasquez demonstrated that the most effective covert operatives are often those who provide genuine service to their communities while conducting missions requiring them to live double lives that fundamentally alter their identity and moral frameworks. Her story illustrates that protecting American interests sometimes requires operations existing beyond public awareness and democratic oversight. The yoga students who learned meditation from Elena received authentic instruction in stress management and mindfulness, despite their teacher's hidden identity as a precision sniper responsible for eliminating threats to national security. Her dedication to helping them find inner peace was genuine, even while serving as cover for activities contradicting the philosophical principles she taught. Elena's disappearance ended one of the most successful deep cover operations in modern intelligence history while revealing the personal cost of conducting assassination missions while maintaining civilian relationships. Her psychological struggle between peaceful instructor and lethal operative reflected broader moral complexities faced by people serving their country through methods requiring deception of everyone they care about. Detective Martinez's investigation demonstrated how professional law enforcement capabilities could inadvertently compromise national security operations, creating unintended consequences that endangered both classified programs and innocent civilians. The intersection of domestic policing with international covert activities created situations where competent investigation became a threat to operational security. Elena's journal documented truth-challenging simple judgments about morality, legality, and the price of protecting innocent people from threats they never knew existed. Her meditation techniques continue helping former students manage stress and find balance, practicing breathing exercises developed for precision shooting, and achieving mindfulness through methods designed for psychological preparation for combat operations. The transformation of Elena's yoga studio into a conventional wellness facility represented the efficiency with which classified programs could erase evidence of covert operations while preserving cover stories that protected both operational security and civilian assets from exposure to dangerous truths. Because that's the nature of hidden valor, it often comes from people who sacrifice their own moral clarity to protect others, who live double lives requiring deception of everyone they care about, and who find ways to serve their communities authentically while conducting missions existing beyond public understanding or democratic oversight. Elena Vasquez's story reminds us that the yoga instructor who helped you find inner peace might have carried secrets that would redefine everything you thought you understood about safety, sacrifice, and the invisible protection that allows normal life to continue in an increasingly dangerous world.